Landlord shoved down the stairs by a tenant when he went to collect the rent. That tenant is now under arrest tonight.
Superintendent David Brown saying significant progress has been made specifically in the vehicular hijacking category, with 215 arrests so far this year.
Was live at CPD headquarters on the south side with more. Mike?
These shootings happened all across the city, from near north to the south loop. One victim was just 16 years old. It is a frightening situation that one activist tells us is Chicago's new normal.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Orlando, and today we're talking about investing in the hood, guys. Now, I know that we have this thing in our community where we turn, negative things into positive. We want to take things that normally other people look and say, yeah, that's bad, right? And we turn those things into a positive, and quote unquote hoods, our neighborhoods, areas where quote unquote are low income. Those are where a lot of our memories come from as far as growing up as a kid, and you want to reinvest into those areas, right? I get it, and I know some people will look at this video and be like, no, I definitely want to do that, I want to invest in, but we are going to talk about why this is a bad idea for your real estate investing. So let's jump right into it. Why is investing in a low income area or a quote unquote hood a bad idea? Well, let's talk about it. Let's say that you have $20,000 that took you 2 years to save up, and you think to yourself, I want to buy that cheap house that is $20,000 also. First, you're going to have an issue with financing. Most financing will not pay for or finance houses that are that cheap. Normally, there's a limit of about $75,000 of the loan. So that means that normally the property has to be worth at least $100,000. I'm pretty sure you could find some bank that will do that low dollar amount when it comes to financing home, but more than likely, there will be a limit on your normal everyday bank, and you will just have to really go digging to find that bank that will do that. And then we don't want to, guys, we talk about this all the time. Leverage is your friend when it comes to real estate. If you have to buy that $20,000 home, that $20,000 investment property with cash, right? Then all of a sudden your investment isn't as lucrative as if you would have gotten it financed. But here's another thing, guys, that I want you to look at. Why wouldn't you take that $20,000 and leverage it and buy a $200,000 home in an area that is desirable? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the area and what's considered desirable. Think about this. What ends up happening when you buy a home or you buy an investment property in a bad area is you limit the amount of tenants that you have for selection. What do I mean by that? Tenants in that area that's considered bad. And what do I mean bad? There's a lot of crime. The schools aren't good. Also, there's no amenities around the area to make the area grow, meaning businesses, restaurants, shopping, things that bring people to areas, right? That is what you want. You want to have your rental. You want to have your property in an area that's desired to live in, because once again, if you don't, you limit the amount of tenants that you're able to bring in. If you don't have any of those things, what are you left with? A place that really people are choosing their 5th, 6th, 8th, 10th option to live. And what comes along with that? Well, tenants normally with bad credit, tenants that have been rejected in those better areas, also tenants who may not meet your income requirements, tenants who may destroy your property, things like that. And they all chain together. A tenant who may not be able to pay rent probably doesn't have the items and things of that nature to keep up the property, so they just let everything fall apart. That is how slumlords are created. And investing in areas like that where you get bled dry because the tenant isn't paying you rent, and then also your property, your investment, that you spent $20,000 on is being destroyed. So your property is being destroyed with you also not receiving rents, but you have to keep up on the maintenance. So at what point do you throw your hands up and go, look, I'm losing tens of thousands of dollars every year on this property and I'm not even receiving rent? But let's talk about the desired areas, guys. Those areas have good schools. They also have amenities where people want to eat, live, nice parks, all of those things, which brings individuals that have stable income, which also brings individuals who can pay your rent, and also your rent increases, right? Rent increases because you're not gonna stay at the same rent year over year. At least that's what I hope you're not doing. So if you're going to raise the rent every year, you need to make sure that the individuals or the tenants that you have in your units can uphold those increases. If you do these in areas that are less desirable, right? The areas that are quote unquote low income, cheap houses, no amenities, high crime. If you do all of those things and you invest in those areas, you have to understand what's going to come with it. And so when individuals or landlords come to me and say, I have a property that I'm trying to unload, and I find out that they give me the address and I find out that it's in an area that no one wants to be in because you're risking your life even trying to go collect rent. You know, nobody wants that. And what does the landlord or the owner end up doing? Well, they end up selling the property for equal or less than what they bought it. And on top of that, they have not even collected rent, or they've collected very little rent. They haven't been able to increase rents because they know they have had a hard enough time getting rents from the tenant as it is. They know that the tenant will not be able to handle even a $25 rent increase. They do not want to get for the tenant to move because they don't want to deal with a brand new tenant. It's kind of like the devil you know type of scenario. So I always tell those landlords, no, thank you. That's not my style of renting. And I know guys, I know. There is a strategy out there that everyone is using, Section 8, to guarantee the rent. But then I will say this to you. If you use Section 8, it's not all, but the risks are a lot higher. If the government is paying the rent for someone else, it's not their hard-earned money, then the chances of them taking care of your property are slim. It really is, guys. I hate to say it. That is not the case with everyone. But you have to understand, how many times when you were growing up did your parents say to you, you know, you don't care about this because it's not your money. So what do you think someone's going to do if the government is paying the rent for an individual? They're not going to pretty much take care of the property. That's just the way it goes. It sucks to say, but that is the case. That's my experience. If someone has had a different experience, please put that in the comment section. I don't want to sit here and say like, don't do it, you can't do it. I'm just giving you my experiences and why I don't do it and why I suggest others not do it. You have to do your research, guys. My word isn't end all be all, so please do your research on this stuff. Look at Section 8, look at the rules in your area, look at if you believe that it's worth doing, but in my opinion, it's not, guys. It's not. It comes with too many headaches. I want to lower the risk as much as I possibly can, guys. I want to do a hands-off approach to real estate investing by using my property management and them not shooting me over 20 issues that's going on with the property because I invested in an area that wasn't, you know, the best, most desirable area to live in. I hope you got value out of this content. I'm gonna need you to watch this next video here. It will help you get into your first rental property and into real estate in general. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.